Holy moly, guys. We are attempting a breakout of the largest structure resistance that we have seen in a very long time on Bitcoin. We have respected this since the very beginning of the bear market. At the top of the bull market, we have not crossed this in nearly an entire year. So, what does this mean? Yes, most often this is going to be highly bullish, but there is a chart that suggests further downward pressure is imminent. And even if we don't break back below into this massive descending wedge pattern, we could still see some downside ahead. Let me show you the charts, guys. This is incredible. Really quick, my name's Jake with Trade Confident. We're trading Bitcoin USD on the daily time frame with the market cycle highs and lows and the Pro Trade Manager. And we're going to be bringing in one of our premium metrics later on in the video, so stay tuned. We do have to adjust the charts here for a new pattern. What you're seeing here is a first touch and second touch. This isn't enough typically to draw a trend line. 2 touches is enough to draw a line, but a third touch actually confirms the trend itself. And this tells me that we are now trading within a smaller symmetrical triangle pattern. Symmetrical triangles form when you see a descending resistance and an ascending support. They don't have to be exactly lined up as a symmetrical triangle would imply. As long as you see a descending resistance and ascending support, this is a symmetrical triangle pattern. Most often, this is going to be neutral, which means it's going to break out, which means it's expected to break out in the direction that it started. This started from an uptrend, and most often it's going to end in an uptrend because of that. And a strategy that we can use to target a possible top is to draw a trend line from the absolute bottom of the trend, from the bottom of the starting trend to the top. Then you copy and paste it to the point of breakout. Drag the bottom to the point of expected breakout. We're going to call it right here just because that's where we have the data right now. And the top here is the maximum amount that we would expect this move up to continue. And the top here is the expected amount that we would see the price rise. And this sits at about $74,250. Now that would be a massive move up. And this is where a lot of the bullish sentiment comes from. We've already broken above major resistance on the descending wedge pattern covering the entire bear market. That is bullish. But we still have yet to break out of this symmetrical triangle pattern, which would actually confirm a break to the upside. And even if it did, only to about $74,000 at maximum. At which point, we need to pay close attention to this next chart. This is the most important pattern right now. From here, we're going to bring in the market liquidity tide chart. Now, this combines data from the global M2 momentum chart, this dollar strength inverted, risk appetite inverted, inflation direction, interest rate direction, yield curve between a 10-year to 2-year spread, and the PMI, economics, USBCOI. If you see a value in green, the tide is in, we have a macro tailwind. This is the best Bitcoin environment. If you see red, the tide is out. We see a macro headwind. Even good setups fail. And that's why when you see major red areas on this chart, even if you do see rises in price, often you are going to see crashes before that. And that's where we see the massive green amount, where we see the tide in, pushing and earning tons of profit. Right now we sit in neutral, but we just came from a macro headwind, which historically pushes the price downward. It remains to be seen, and it's not until we see the tide actually coming in that personally I would look to invest heavily into Bitcoin. This is one of the most important metrics that we have here at Trade Confident, and we watch very closely when it sends a signal. So coming out of a headwind, not at a tailwind yet. Personally, this tells me there could still technically be some downside that we need to watch out for, and that's why, despite the very bullish breakout from Bitcoin here, I am still not quite fully bullish. We have a single pattern breakout telling us a move up could be coming, but we are still trading within a pattern. Once this breaks out, this could see some moves up, but we have a headwind that tells us, based on some of the most important and heaviest hitting data points combined, that a move down is still likely even if the price sees a little bit of a pump. So short term, I'm looking for a move up. I'm cautiously optimistic, but in the kind of short to medium term after that, I'm looking for much further drops. Now, whether this right here was the bottom or not remains to be seen. Whenever the drop happens, I'm still looking for fear or max fear in combination with a green dot, which historically called the absolute bottom of the bear market in both 2022 and in 2018. This is another reason I still don't think we've quite hit the bottom. Travis, the founder of Trade Confident, is going to be discussing his views on the market in tomorrow's future forecast episode. This is usually 30 to 60 minutes, jam-packed of information, both with his in-depth outlook in the market and how he's reacting to the market in his 7-figure portfolio. Members get access to those future forecast videos and access to the metrics and indicators you saw in this video at a massive discount. Sign up at the links in the description down below. It's going to be the second link. Less than $50 to get started in your membership. Head to the indicators tab. And right here, the TradingView metric chart suite. This is the main charts that I want you to pay attention to. Reveal your membership coupon code for your first 10% off. I'm going to show you how to get a total 30%. Click checkout on Gumroad. Scroll down to the macro liquidity tide. Click that and add it to cart. Now, from here, you can throw in your membership code and call it a day with just this metric. An option to purchase all 14 at an extra 20% discount. The macro liquidity tide is only one of 14, and all of these individually provide quality data that most traders are not looking at. So go ahead and purchase all 14 here. Scroll down, click I want this. Now throw in your membership code. You get 20% off here. Another 10% off here for a total 30% discount. Fill in your information, click pay, and you are good to go. And with that, I just want to say thanks so much for watching. Remember, trade safe, trade confident, and I'll see you in the membership for tomorrow's future forecast episode. Don't miss out.